Welcome to Decision Makers. Join us as leaders from across West Virginia gather to discuss what's working and what needs to be improved. And now, Decision Makers, helping to improve the quality of life in your town and your state for a better future.
Good morning and welcome to Decision Makers. Now, before we get started, remember you can go to your statejournal.com or the website of your favorite West Virginia media station and click on Decision Makers, the Decision Makers tab. We've got some new stuff online and I think you're really going to like it, so check us out. In a minute, we're going to head down to the coal fields to talk to Don Blankenship, the Massey Energy CEO, about how coal, that once stodgy industry, has become a hot global commodity. Now, the chairman doesn't hold back. I think you're going to want to hear what he has to say. But first, there's been plenty of headlines this week about the pastor at Barack Obama's church, Jeremiah Wright. He made some, what some are saying are divisive comments about America. And we've got Pastor Reverend Matthew Watts, pastor of the Grace Bible Baptist Church, here to help us sort of sort some of this stuff out. Again, Matthew Watts, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Listen, I want to get your impressions. Earlier in the week, you saw Barack Obama. How did he do in West Virginia?
Fantastic. I think that he was his normal, eloquent, articulate, motivational self, and he had a very strong message.
You know, I have never heard anyone speak better and more inspiring than he does. And I do think he is the one man that probably is sending fear throughout the Republican Party and throughout this nation in terms of he is maybe unstoppable as far as being the next president of the United States.
Well, he's certainly a formidable candidate, and he has a unique skill set in terms of a very disciplined mind and an orator's voice and a legal mind in terms to lay out cases and his points in a very legal, sequential way that makes it easier for people to follow. And then he has an inspirational component that lifts the spirit. You
know, as he starts to become the front runner in this thing, and I think that happened about 2 or 3 weeks ago, one of the things that started happening is you had the Clinton campaign and the McCain campaigns. They're starting to take shots at him.
Sure.
And the media, he went from being the darling of the media to almost the target of the media. And it seems to me, and I've listened to this debate, and I really want to see what you have to say. There's been a very concerted and concentrated effort to try to discredit him through his pastor. And I don't understand that, because I've had pastors that have said a lot of things I don't agree with, and I don't understand how they're trying to tag Senator Obama with all that Pastor Wright said.
Well, I think that he's become so strong and his candidacy has been so unique in terms of he bypassed pretty much the machinery and the apparatus of the Democratic Party, went straight to the people, created this groundswell of support from rank and file people in the nation. And so now there's an attempt to derail him, to diminish his stature in the eyes of the American people. And so in the political game, you know, it's by any means necessary. And so if they can get something to stick to him that will tarnish his image before the American people, they will do that.
Do you think it's fair that someone would say, because you attend a church or you're a member of a church, that if they get excerpts that a pastor says something that's controversial, that somehow they try to tag him with that?
Well, I hope that my parishioners are not held accountable for everything that I might say on any given Sunday morning, but I think in the context of someone running for the President of the United States, that I think it is fair that they give an explanation, they respond to a situation like this, when someone of the high stature of Pastor Jeremiah Wright, who has a parishioner, Barack Obama, and they have a very close relationship. And he says some of the things that Jeremiah Wright has said. I don't think it's unreasonable for the American people to say, Mr. Obama, do you share those views? Do you see the America the same way that your pastor sees America? I don't think that's unreasonable or unfair, and I think Barack Obama responded succinctly and clearly.
I think he did an excellent job. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday when he responded, and I think it ended the debate, although I think a lot of people would like to perpetuate it.
Well, I think the discussion is going to continue, but I think he's responding in a sterling way.
One of the things that sort of has struck out here in West Virginia is that Senator Rockefeller has come out so strongly, and abandoned the traditional machinery of the Democratic Party in West Virginia in endorsing Senator Obama. You saw his introduction of Senator Obama when he was at the University of Charleston earlier in the week. What was your reaction to that?
I do not think I've ever heard Senator Rockefeller be more passionate, to be stronger, or to have any more conviction than what he had. It was one of the most impressive endorsements that I've ever heard any political figure give another political figure. In summary, he called him the real deal in terms of thinking he had a unique skill set that are God-given talents in terms of his intelligence, but not only that, his intuition and his judgment. And that he really believes that Obama is the person in the race that is the most qualified in terms of having the skills and the temperament to be president. It was very strong.
Do you think Senator Obama can make a good, respectful showing here in West Virginia? All the polls, and we're going to have Mark Blankenship on here later in the show, who's a pollster, and tell us what it said, what all these polls say. But do you think he can make a run at Hillary in West Virginia?
Yes, I think he will have a strong showing. I think that there's a lot of enthusiasm, particularly among younger people that are supporting him around the country. I think that Senator Rockefeller's endorsement, Congressman Ray Hall's endorsement in the southern part of the county around the Beckley area, and I think it will help him make a very, very strong showing here.
As we go into this Easter season, if you wanted to tell our people in 30 seconds what's the most important message that Jesus had to give to the world, what would you say?
That they can be forgiven. That no more than beyond the forgiveness and the saving grace of God. And there's hope for anyone who's willing to turn to Christ.
Well, that's a pretty powerful message. Pastor Matthew Watts, we're going to have a little bit extended interview with you online, but thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be back with Don Blankenship after this quick break.